What's up, guys? Matocaster here, and today we're back in CMS 18, and you'll never guess what. Well, I guess you will guess because you read the title of this video and clicked on it. But I was doing a little housekeeping around here, and was actually at the went to the junkyard and was looking for some barn maps and stuff through all the junk there, and just kind of poking around, and ended up finding a little gem. Let's go check it out. I wish you guys would have been there when I found it, but I didn't have my recording software or anything like that going, and I didn't want to lose it. But very excited to have it. And here it is in all its glory. We have a Lamborghini Countach. Look at the scissor doors. We even got the two-part, the tiny little trunk there. And I mean, look at the condition of this thing. It is not bad at all. I think we can just do some slight little stuff here and there. This is a mod, by the way, and it is modeled so well, might I add. But yeah, I think we could just do a few little things and flip this thing and see what we can get out of it for profit. So let's send it over to the garage. And here she is. Just beautiful. And it's funny, it's ironic at the same time that I've been watching Hoovie got himself, if you watch that channel, got himself a 25th anniversary Countach in the same color, but his has red interior. I think I like this a little bit better. But look at that, the gated shifter and everything. Everything is so modeled so well in here. It's absolutely fantastic. So lots of credit due to the mod developer, as this is just absolutely impressive. So good. You got that lovely 80s blocky dashboard. I just love everything about this thing. And that gated shifter, now it's so good. So I am excited for this one, guys. I really am. This was when I was growing up, definitely a car that I had a poster of on my wall, and I'm sure if you're into cars, you probably did too at some point. Just look at that thing. There's so much to love about these 80s, early 90s Lamborghinis. Just looks like a fighter jet or something. So cool. All right, that being said, let's start doing some diagnostics. There we go. That's the word on this thing, and see what we can find out as far as the state of things. Go ahead and get the OBD2 scanner. I guess this wouldn't be OBD2, being that this is before OBD2. This is probably OBD1, but that's just a technicality. So yeah, this doesn't look too bad. I mean, I'm not seeing anything overly stands out. That's an overly in terrible shape. Check our fuel pressure here. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Continue on with the compression tester. So it does turn over. Yeah, and that's really not bad at all. I'm wondering if we just clean this thing up and flip it, or do we want to completely pull apart this engine? That's so cool how that does that. I'm going to go ahead and take it over to the test track. I'll go over this with you. The value of the car is $142,818. I paid $175,400 for it. So I paid more than it was worth, but when you come across one of these, I haven't yet. So, you see it. I saw it, had to have it. Let's move it over to the test path. Get this thing, no oil. Okay. We can take care of that. And there we go. We certainly wouldn't want to forget that. This is pretty cool. We got the engine cover here that looks very, very Lamborghini, and then you get underneath it and you see it's just an overhead cam V8. But it's cool. You got that engine cover. Again, this is a mod. If this was an official Lamborghini, that would have been taken care of. They would probably have the correct engine in there, but this is still cool. Really digging it. Test path. We'll just check the state of affairs when it comes to the brakes and the suspension and all that. Okay, pull it forward. Place the front wheels on it, and then press and hold the brake. Front brakes, not too bad. Move on to the rear brakes. Press and hold brake. Again, not bad. This car is totally drivable. But we'll get it. We'll get it better. We'll get it much better. Shaking things down to find out where the issues are in the front suspension. Not bad. We're sitting around like 60% on all this stuff. So a little bit tired, but we can fix that. And rear suspension is not bad. So we got rubber bushings that are the worst. And go figure, that makes sense. And everything else is really not too shabby. Well, let's take it to the dyno and see what we're working with on the horsepower before we get into repairing any of this stuff, and see what we start with, and then we'll be able to compare that to what we get in the end. So the factory engine horsepower was 309 and 290 foot-pound of torque, or pound-feet. So it's at 184. Yeah, it's tired. We've got a loss of 40% on the power and almost 40% on the torque. Okay, we're going to move it over to lifter A, and we're going to get to work on this Lamborghini. Guys, I hope you are doing well. It's nice to be back. I hope you had good holidays and such. I can't complain at all. The new year's upon us. Get rid of 2020 altogether. And speaking of 20, we've got almost 20,000 subscribers. Guys, that is incredible. Thank you so much for this support. It is absolutely amazing and humbling, and I truly appreciate it. Let's get going on our Lamborghini. We're definitely going to have to take care of these wheels and tires. I do like them. They're stock. I think originally they are 15s by 11 or something like that in the back. And then the front, yeah, the 15s. So it fits. I mean, it looks right. I know it's by today's standards, that's tiny for a supercar. But, you know, this was the 80s and the early 90s. So I think these things, they still made the Countach into 90 or 91, I think was the final year. But man, I sure love these things. Very dated, but very cool. So let's pull these things apart and get to these rubber bushings at least. I think we're going to be able to find that we're going to be able to repair quite a bit of this stuff just because it's starting out in such great condition. A lot better than we typically start with, that's for sure. And that makes sense. This car was probably taken a little better care of than some of the cars that we've gotten in the past, considering its value and what somebody would have had to have paid for one of these back in the day. Okay, let's get these upper arms off. We can go ahead and pull that shock absorber out. There we go. Leave our end link. Take the bottom suspension arm out. Oh, gotta get that outer tie rod. Then we can get our inner. Knuckle will come, and then we get to take out our rubber bushings. There, and right there. Perfect. That is that side done. Just separating the tire from the rim here on the front. I got our springs and shocks pulled apart. Separate those there. Yes. Okay, I've had some of you ask not to fast forward the stuff. Just do it all in real time. Shows how long it actually takes to do one of these cars. I can tell you it's about 2 hours. Sometimes it depends on how complicated the car is. It usually comes in around 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And that's just like, don't think you guys want to sit there. I left that door open, didn't I? Sit there and watch that for that long. So what I probably do, there's probably some of you that do, but what I'm probably going to start doing is just do a couple live streams here and there. Just here and there. Do a couple live streams. They will stay unedited, and I'll leave them up for a considerable amount of time. Probably just leave them up altogether. And that way, if you want to see how long one takes in real time without fast forwarding, without skipping, anything like that, then you'd be able to see that there. Otherwise, I'll keep continuing to make these around 35 to 40, sometimes 50 minutes. Just for the sake of time. I don't think you guys want to sit there for 2 hours and watch. The duration, I checked the analytics, the typical duration of one of these videos is right around 10 to 15 minutes as it sets now for a 45 to 50 minute video. So that's the majority of people are only watching for that amount of time. So that's why I'm looking into going about it that way. So stay tuned. Now we're going to see what we can repair. And things are looking good. Obviously, we won't be able to repair these springs and things like that. But we can go into our inventory now and take a look at things we weren't able to repair. And it's going to be typical stuff. Brake pads, brake disc, wheel hub. Obviously, the rubber bushings. We're going to need a sway bar. But, yeah, we were able to repair a good amount of things. Let's get our cross member in here. All freshened up and repaired. Go ahead and get these rubber bushings while I'm thinking about it. And right here. There we go. And mount our steering rack and our sway bar. There we go. Get a little farther back. Go ahead and put on our steering knuckle. Take care of these tie rods. Inner and outer. Do our lower. And our shock assembly there. And our upper. Do our sway bar end link. Then, build out the brake system here. We got the desk cover, the wheel hub, the bearing, and the brake disc. Almost forgot our cap there. Brake pads. And of course, the caliper. And since we're just going right back to stock here, we can go ahead and mount our freshened up rims with brand new tires. I looked through the rims and there aren't really, I know these aren't full on, perfect Countach wheels. And I looked at all the other options and really wasn't seeing anything that got a lot closer, but these will do. These will do for now. That is the front end taken care of. Easy. Not too bad at all. Start tearing down the rear back here. We'll get our brake caliper off. This is one of those more complicated than we usually work on rear ends. Not like it's bad, but it's... So many of the cars that I like to do are the old ones with the leaf spring and all that stuff. It's fun to pepper these in, these more modern rear suspension things, and just to keep things fresh, Get that off. Upper arm out. Get this rubber bushing taken care of. Spin around here. There we go. There we are. Some of this stuff can be a little tricky to get to sometimes. As it would be on a Lamborghini, I would imagine. There we go. Can't forget the rubber bushings up here. And while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and pull the tank. Get the fuel pump. Yeah, you got to hit it in just the right spot. There we go. Pull that out, and we will take out our fuel tank onto the other side. I'm curious, have you guys ever seen the movie Speed Zone? It's an old movie from the 80s, Speed Zone, where they take a Lamborghini Countach and skip it across a pond as he's getting away from the cops.
My arm's getting kind of sore, Grandpa.
But you haven't got the angle quite right. Look, it's more like...
What's that angle you were talking about, Grandpa?
But I always think of that movie when I see one of these cars, because I watched that movie when I was a little kid, and I always thought that part was really cool. So every time I see a Countach, I think about that scene from that movie. It's a very cheesy 80s movie too. So if you're into that kind of thing, it's definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it. Get the small rubber bushing down here. That way we can mount our rear suspension arm. Be able to get our spring cap on, our spring, and the absorber cap, as they call it. I know I'm missing some. Oh, yep, right there. And we'll get our big rear suspension arm here. Rubber bushing. Looks like that's everything for up in there, and we can get our wheel hub. Bearing replaced. Our drive axle. There we go. Now we can take care of our brake system. Our pads. Caliper. And finally, our rear wheel and tire combo. Those are some meats right there. That is a tire. It's a 345. Crazy. Awesome. Just going back stock, going with what it had. On to the other side. So next, I want to move on to under the front trunk before I forget any of that. It doesn't let me open it unless I move the car. Maybe if I put it all the way down. No, let's move the car over to the entrance there. Now can we, okay. Gonna be concerned if we couldn't get to this stuff here, because I want to get to all this before I forget. It looks like that's everything from under the front trunk area. I want to put that battery on the charger before I forget to. Charge the battery. There we go. And we'll put our repaired brake master cylinder. Get it installed there. Now put you back on the lift. I just want to do that before I forgot. Also want to take care of, it doesn't look like it seriously needs it, but in case it does, do our little weld thing here. Yes, just get it up to 100%. And then, while I'm thinking about it, go ahead and clean this interior. Just to get things all nice and pretty. Yes. Okay. So we're going to be pulling this engine. We'll see how this goes. We've done it on rear engine vehicles before. But this thing just goes in the front, and it still works. Or it has before. We'll see if it works this time. Actually, we need to disconnect the drive line. Getting a little ahead of myself here, aren't I? There we go. Let's drain the oil so we don't make a mess. I see it actually put it back here on that. That's nice. Drain that brand new oil. Yeah, and again, this is a mod, so yeah, there's like where the drive shaft goes, and we got the transmission up here. Don't pay attention to that. Just sometimes you get these things with the mods. They're fantastic mods, but to make them work, you know, they sometimes have these little things. No big deal. I think that's good enough for us to be able to pull out, and we have removed it. Time to carry it over and put it on our stand. This is what we're working with. I'm going to start our tear down. Go ahead and grab this clutch assembly stuff here. Start in the back. Get the flywheel off. Perfect. Move idler roller A. You know what? I'm just going to speed up the teardown, and then we'll do the rebuild in normal time. All right, what I meant was speed up the front end teardown, and then we'll do this stuff. We'll do this stuff in real time, at least one side of this. But we need to remove both of these head covers to get the front timing chain cover off. A lot of bolts here, as one would expect. Oh, missed one right there. Okay. Get this side off. Coil out. We'll probably do some tasteful, slight little mods here and there. Performance upgrades, like probably performance coils, things like that. But not go overboard. We went overboard on a few cars recently, so we'll stick to the faithful Lamborghini style here. I'm doing just a stock rebuild. Oh, we have belts. There we go. We'll get these cam gears off. Lots of these overhead cam engines. And then we'll get the camshafts out. Looks like we need to remove the manifolds. Be able to get the head off, obviously. Oh, yep. Need to get our fuel rail. Intake manifold. Oh, we need to take care of our throttle body, which they just call throttle. Get rid of that fuel filter while we're here, and the manifold can come out, and then we remove the head. Yeah, this is a little carbon buildup up in those pistons there I just saw. And then we can remove this one's head. And there we go. Yep, see that carbon buildup? Get that oil filter off. And I think we're ready to flip this thing over. Rotate, rotate. Back at it. Move the oil pan. So far I haven't come across anything missing. That's good. Obviously the car was running and driving. Get these crankshaft bearing retainers off. Then we are good to remove the pistons. I'll remove one in normal time. Out it comes. Let's do the rest. And we are ready to remove the crankshaft. That should do it. Yep, there it goes. So I went on a shopping spree and got some nice upgrades. That's the word I was looking for. Got our nice new block here. Then we will install our performance pistons and our standard rod caps there. And here we go. I will do the rest of these. in fast motion. All right, time to put the oil pan on. Big deep one too. Might as well throw our filter in here. And we are ready to rotate this engine over. There we go. Start building this thing out. Start on this side. Our engine head here. Camshaft. And another. Throw our pulleys on, or cam gears. And we can put our spark plugs in now, why not? They are the performance ones to our exhaust manifold. Then we are ready to put our alternator on while we're on this side. There we go. Now we can build out this side so that way we can put the timing set on, and timing belts and all that. Build out the front end. Put our spark plugs here. This is going to be a fun little well-balanced engine. Nothing over the moon, nothing crazy. But with a few little performance parts that'll make it better than it used to be. I mean, heck, what we got did our dyno and it's 180 horsepower. Do timing belt there, and then the other right there. And then we should be able, yep, put our timing cover on. Engine head cover. And I did buy some performance coils for this. I didn't buy the performance fuel rail or anything because I didn't buy the performance fuel pump because we were able to repair the fuel pump just fine. The stock fuel pump, that is. Do the engine head cover over here. What am I missing? Oh, I always miss that little guy right there. That little guy, I wouldn't worry about that little guy. Okay, ignition coils. All on. Coil cover. Go ahead and take care of that exhaust manifold here, and then we are onto the front of the engine. This thing is coming together smoothly. Now that I say that. Power steering pump. Camshaft or crankshaft pulley. Water pump. And we've got a whole bunch of little idler rollers. Think I bought enough. There's a bunch of them. And we can do our water pump pulley. Nice. Then at some point, yep, I was thinking the belt came in now. That belt, the first belt. We get our tensioner on. Idler roller B. I think we're gonna need one more right there, aren't we? Did I miss one? Am I one short? No. Figured I would have messed that up somehow. Surprised that I didn't. This is all put together. Oh, except for all this stuff back here. You know what? I want to take that back off. I want to do a performance throttle body. So we'll go over here. Go to home. Power boost. And they just call it throttle. Right there. We'll go ahead and do that. Why not, right? Take this one off. And we'll put the performance one on. A nice little power gain there. Not bad at all. Fuel filter, flywheel. Got a performance flywheel as well as a performance clutch. Then we got performance pressure plate. You get the gist. And we'll put in our throwout bearing right there. And there we go. That is ready to go in that. So let's take the engine. Hey, there we go. That's what I wanted to do. Take engine off crate. Install. There we go. Now this can go back. And I think we put our engine cover and we should be good. Part mount our... Let's see. I want to drop this thing down. I'm having trouble seeing in there. Just like real life. There's our engine cover. Install that. Okay. Looked like there was something up with the... What was I seeing over here? Way over here on the edge. There it is. Yeah, the radiator and the fan housings. This needs some attention. And we're going to pull apart our air filter boxes. It's got these clips. This makes it so tricky. There we go. We might as well get some performance air filters for this. And onto the other side. Spin around, get every one of these clips. Oh yeah, it was dirty. Dirty for sure. I think that's everything. Build out our air filter. Or the one on the right hand side. Cover then the clips. Lots of clips. There we go. And finally one there. Now on this side, while we're over here, put in our radiator, fan housing, and our fans are all in good shape. We're good there. Let's go with the radiator here. Fan housing B. Fan blades all look good. We can do our air filter base. Our performance air filter. And the cover and the wonderful little clips. 2, 3, and 4. Now I think from here, all we have to do is attach the transmission. We should be good to go. Barring that the glass and everything is all in good shape. We will check that out. Install our gearbox, which we were able to repair, which is nice. Always nice when you can repair that. They're not the cheapest thing on the game. Okay, now we can go grab that battery off the charger. Oh, but we can't install it unless it's sitting over there, which is fine. We'll do that. And grab the battery. Get in here, part mount, and install. It is at 100%, which is beautiful. Hoping that would be how that worked itself out. And there it goes. Now let's see how things are looking. As far as the car goes, 100%, 100%, 100%. Everything I see here is 100%. That is a good thing. Let's take it over to the dyno and see what we have done. Remember, we started with 184 horsepower and 179 pound-feet of torque. Yes, proceed with the dyno test. Run the dyno. And the factory was 309 over 290. So if we make, I'm going to say we're going to make 340. 391. I'll take it. Over 363 pound-feet of torque. We got a gain over stock of 26.7% on power and 25.3% on torque. I think it's time we take this thing out and drive it. It's looking too good. Should we paint it? Should we go red? I mean, I know it's, you know, it's a Lamborghini and everything. I do like this color. It's quite nice. But I think maybe we paint it. Okay, there's no liveries to work with, which is fine. We got matte, we got pearl. Let's change the camera angle here. Chrome new. Like a red Lamborghini, that's just how, you know, you see so many of those. But it works well with the tan interior. You don't see so many of those, but a red Countach. You know, it's very... almost prefer the white over the red, you know? Black looks pretty slick. Especially with that that interior. And the matte black. Almost looks like a F-117 Nighthawk stealth fighter. That way. That's kind of cool. Yellow just doesn't complement the car for me. You know, I like it this way. I just like it the way it is. It looks really good in white. Call me boring, but I think that looks the best for the car. Let's move it over to the entrance A. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Gorgeous, right? Let's take this thing out. Let us go. Let's go speed track first. It looks so good. Oh, man. Gonna bounce it off the limiter, and there we go. Well, it runs, or it drives straight, which is good. It's got good grip. And here we are in the interior view of driving a Lamborghini Countach. Look at the wiper there. I got the big wiper and the little wiper. Again, this mod is so well done. We're at 155, 160, 3, 4, 165. Not bad at all. Here we are at the abandoned airport with our Lamborghini Countach. It looks so cool. I know the white might be boring for some of you, but I think it fits the car. It's elegant. It works well. It also fits kind of the time, you know, like a lot of Lambos and stuff now are yellow and purple and, you know, the crazy oranges and whatnot. But at the time, I mean, you really only saw these in white, black, and red. I think there were some blue ones. I can't be sure, but maybe they were painted afterwards. Let's do our J turn we always do. It does it beautifully. Actually sounds pretty good too. I like this car. What a car. All right, let's see what we can get out of it. See how much profit we can make. Again, I overpaid for this thing. Way more than it was worth. I mean, it was worth $140,000 and I paid $175,000. But will that pay off? Let us sell the car on. Car status. Okay, everything's 100%. Everything's looking good. Sell car for $240,974. Yes. Cha-ching is correct. Now I shall sell my inventory. Make sure there's not anything I need in here. There is not. Sell parts. Sell them all. That netted us a nice little chunk of change there. Let's do the math here and see what we made for a profit. So after the math is all added up, we were able to secure a profit of just over $65,000, which is fantastic. Because I was a little worried because I know I overpaid for the car, but I had to have the Lamborghini Countach. That's not a bad little profit margin. I'll definitely take it. As long as we're making money, I'm okay with it. Guys, this was a fun episode. Feels good to be in 2021. Got a good feeling. Hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe. And as always, guys, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Looking forward to getting to 20,000 subscribers. That just blows my mind, and it's all because of you guys. And don't think that's lost by me. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.